Hi, I'm Ray Anderson. For a quarter of a century, I've been helping transform individuals into small business leaders. Most of us entrepreneurial types, like you and I, are risk tolerant. We took the plunge into the world of business because we could touch, taste, and feel the dream of personal and financial freedom. In many ways, we felt we were the answer to the world's need for a plumber, or a butcher, or a pediatrician, or a lawyer, or maybe just a salesman. Something intangible compelled most of us to express it through a business dream. The reality is brutal. The grandeur of our dream battles into an unrelenting tyranny of the urgent. 80% of those dreams lie shattered in 5 years. There are too many reasons to enumerate here, but I want to focus on one game changer. Our goal here isn't to sell you on another dream. It's to transform your life and business one idea, one step, and one function at a time. Frankly, I started the business because I always wondered why others saw so much potential in me that I couldn't see in myself. The truth be told, we all need someone who believes in us more than we believe in ourselves. Because alone in our weakness, we don't have what it takes to achieve our dreams. Someone we can confide to our failures, our fears, our shortcomings, because life will undermine and surely kill our dreams without outside help. And all of you are leaders in various stages of development at work, home, and the community. The goal here is to move you to the next level. One of the central things I've learned in that time is that people and organizations who don't understand where they are, that is their strengths and weaknesses, find it very difficult to get where they want to go. There are a lot of assessments that identify strengths and weaknesses. As someone once told me, all assessments are flawed, but some of them are useful. For many years we've been using the DISC because it's easy to administrate, and our vendor, TTI, continually updates the research and software that builds on the foundation laid by Harvard professor William Marston in 1928. So what is the DISC model? Basically, the DISC model is a simple 4-quadrant identifier of behavioral style. Doesn't talk about intelligence, doesn't talk about values. It simply says, by nature, I identify myself this way. And we find it's very consistent with people's own self-perceptions. And basically, that's the key to change. Secondly, we know that the DISC improves personal and organizational performance. And I don't say that just because I'm interested in hearing myself talk. Is that for a quarter century I've watched it in action. People only change when they need to. And when they understand the importance of it to achieving their dreams, and they understand the importance of making that happen, they become personally interested and motivated to change. And here's an example of the DISC. Master's original adjectives for the 4 DISC factors are written below their appropriate descriptor. And what I want to do here is dominance. Dominant style people are, as the adjectives here suggest, are results-oriented, direct, and they're quick to anger. They're ambitious, they're forceful, they're decisive, they're direct. And as you look at these, what I'd like you to do is look for words that really reflect who you are as a person, who you feel over the years people have identified as you having. Because the importance of this is that this will give you some insights as to how you're perceived by other people. The second item here is influencers. And those people, the I's, are expressive, they're outgoing, they're verbal, they're trusting. They're frequently described as the life of the party. They're a lot of fun to be around. Let's look at the next one, the S's. And again, as you look at these, find the identifier or the adjective that you feel most comfortably reflects who you are. Steady people are loyal, they're team-oriented, they're reliable, they're profoundly good listeners. They want to make things happen, but they hate controversy and they don't like confrontation. The compliance folks, interesting people. They're analytical, almost to a fault, and are very concerned about quality. They're diplomats. As you can tell here, they're analytical, they're contemplative. As you might suspect, as you're checking the items that most resonate for you, you probably work with somebody who's got a diametrically different style and poses a communication challenge for you. Their style has an impact on your ability to communicate. Now, each person comes to the job or relationship with a well-established pattern of behavior. We all adapt our behavior at work to meet our needs. but we are most productive in jobs that demand our strengths rather than our weaknesses. The more time your organization spends on defining the behavioral requirements of the job, the less likely you're going to get candidates who fail because they're a mismatch. And we're going to talk about that in another video. Anyone who naturally likes working with people, and I, as a general rule, will make a better waitress than a person who's introverted and shy. This is not rocket science. After checking the adjectives that describe you, identify someone you work with, specifically someone who challenges or frustrates you. Mark them down, and we're going to see if we can't give you some tips to help you grow a little bit in that. Influence, steadiness, and compliance. Those are the issues. Those are the things. These are what we have to work on. Now, what does this mean? And we're going to give you this free so you can analyze that freestyle analysis for yourself. But if you participate in our opportunity here to get into much more depth, you're going to be able to see this wheel. And what this wheel does, it enables you, as you can see in this particular focus, there are about 12 people, all of whom have very different styles, but from my perception and 25 years of working with people, this is a well-balanced team if they hear one another. And one of the challenges that we have is that sometimes people don't. As you'll note, there are 3 people in the quadrant of D. They're competitive, they're confrontational, they're direct, they want results, they're urgent, they're change agents. If they haven't seen a change that they didn't like, it means that they haven't seen it yet. Tomorrow it'll be here. And then, as to show you the contrast, I want you to look at the people in the other corner. These are the S's. They're accommodating. Okay, D, what do you say? They don't like confrontation. The D, on the other hand, is probably going to get in their face. It's going to be ugly. They're persistent. When the D gets upset, they control their emotions. They're adaptable. They're good listeners. Now, if I'm working inside of an organization and I have a conflict between the D's and the S's, I guarantee you, unless there's a way to get through it, the D's will manage and direct the organization in ways that are not necessarily productive unless they're willing to change. As a leader, you need everybody who's inside the organization, and unless you transform your way of communicating with them, you will close the door to their communication. On the other hand, if you're a follower, you need the boss to hear you, and so you have to present information in such a way that they can engage it. What this gives you is a simple tool to start with. We think it's a foundation for leadership change. It will simply confirm what you and others already know about you. It's not good or bad. It's simply different. The road to great leadership, however, starts with the humble search for people who can cover our weaknesses. Once we understand that, our business dreams can be achieved when we surround ourselves with a team of people who say, whatever it takes, boss. That's where we're trying to get to. And this is simply the first step. Thanks. This has been Ray Anderson.